They bringing down our store to pick the guitar. Hey mama, here come far. They coming from far. They bringing down our store to pick the guitar. Oi, 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 oi. So many heroes, many died and gone. We didn't give them flowers while they were alive. So I decided I had to write a song. This one for Rolling Great, did it this way. This one for Rolling Great, did it this way. Shivan no, shivan back, back no. This one for Rolling Great, did it this way. Oh, shivan back, back no. This one for Rolling Great, did it this way. 'Cause when it comes to time, he did it this way. When it comes to strong wind, he did it this way. When it comes to light wind, he did it this way. When it comes to time, yeah, he did it this way. Children back, back more, he did it this way. Children back, back more, he did it this way. Remember when Bella Red is dead and gone? Every time we got a time, he come back home. Oh, no, you don't see me 'cause I come in the wind. And when I go, I go, when I go, I go in the wind.
Coming up tonight, a family speaks after their loved one lost her life in a deadly crash. Also, is it time to revisit the conversation surrounding the legalization of Uber services? And later, the House is still in uproar over that U.S. case involving Gardner. Eyewitness News starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Janelle Longley. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, families remain in the grip of overwhelming grief as they mourn the loss of their loved ones whose lives were snuffed away after a brutal car crash that sent shock waves throughout the nation, triggering an outpouring of reaction from government stakeholders and residents alike. Our Jose Etienne takes the story from here.
Well, I was praying and hoping maybe she was one of them that survived, and it wasn't her, and it's just nerve-wracking.
Then Sandria Wright was one of scores of relatives whose lives were shattered after their loved ones were killed during a horrific car accident early Sunday morning. The crash claimed the lives of 4 teens, one of them being Wright's niece, 18-year-old Patricia Brown, who recently graduated from Agape Christian School in Abaco. The mourning relatives huddled outside the Princess Margaret Hospital morgue, visibly distraught and united by grief as their worst fears awaited confirmation.
My worst nightmares come true.
Her death cuts deep as relatives say they were robbed of witnessing Patricia live out a life filled with promise and potential. The young victim reportedly received a full scholarship to play volleyball in college, and that was a similar case for other victims who recently graduated high school or were already matriculating in university.
They were all females who had a very bright future, and it's just been lost. So you kind of just feel hurt, and empty.
For the surviving relatives, the tragedy has become a cruel repetition of grief, reviving memories of past loss while inflicting a fresh and devastating wound.
My niece has lost both parents, and for her brother and aunts to have to come and deal, it is hard, and they don't know what happened.
What deepened their trauma was the rapid spread of graphic videos documenting the aftermath of the incident, repeatedly exposing them to traumatic scenes of the final moments of those who died.
We need to find something that disallows person to do things like that because this is very distasteful. Right. And then the comments following it, we don't know if they were drunk because the autopsy didn't say blood was in their alcohol was in their blood. We don't know if he was speeding because we don't have the report if there was skid marks or not. It's just a bunch of hearsay and people assuming because they're a bunch of young people that they were out there drunk and partying and whatever. And for families to read that is really, really hard.
Eyewitness News understands the 19-year-old male driver of the incident survived but was left with a broken wrist. The other survivors, a 25-year-old male, 21-year-old male, and a 19-year-old female, are still receiving critical care at the hospital. It is expected that an autopsy will be conducted to determine the exact cause of death. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Prime Minister Philip Davis leading a moment of silence in the morning session of Parliament in recognition of the 5 young females who lost their lives in 2 separate tragic traffic accidents over the weekend. One of those incidents unfolding on Saturday involving 8 individuals, leaving 4 females dead, and the other involving a female in Grand Bahama.
5 young Bahamians, 5 families broken, 5 futures we will never see unfold. There's no speech that can fill the space these young people leave behind. There's no policy that can answer a mother, father, who has lost their child. All that this House can honestly offer today is our presence, our prayers, and our promise. The promise that we will do everything in our power to protect the young people of this nation so that fewer families are made to grieve as these families. So on behalf of the government and the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, I extend our deepest and most sincere condolences to each of the 5 families that bear an unbearable loss.
Grand Bahama Minister and Pine Ridge Member of Parliament Ginger Moxie also extending condolences to the family of this past weekend's 26-year-old East Sunrise Highway traffic fatality victim. Moxie says she's seen videos of the victim apparently consuming alcohol at an event allegedly prior to the crash circulating online, and urged Bahamians to be more sensitive about when and what they post in the face of tragedy.
I don't think that should be done, but we have to be more responsible in how we actually communicate these things. Families are mourning, people are hurting, and so we just have to be more responsible as Bahamians. And I guess that's what my words of advice would be. And we see it often, we see it over and over where people are putting this thing out there, actually, communicating it. Families are not aware, and it's not the way that we should behave, I think, as a country. And so, again, my condolences to the family. That's all I really want to say right now.
The Bahamas Christian Council also extending condolences to the families and loved ones of the 5 young women who lost their lives in those tragic accidents in New Providence and Grand Bahama. In a statement, the council described the deaths as not only a devastating loss for the families involved, but also a profound loss for the nation, saying the young victims represented promise, talent, and the future of the Bahamas. The council is calling on churches throughout the country to support grieving families through prayer, counseling, practical assistance, and pastoral care. It is also encouraging all Bahamians to continue remembering the families in prayer in the weeks ahead as they cope with their loss. Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson also offering sympathy tonight following the death of those 4 teenage girls, as all females reportedly went through public school system on the islands of Cat Island and Abaco. Wilson sharing that the girls all had bright futures ahead of them and sends prayers to their respective schools and families during this grieving period.
It is with deep sadness that I extend sympathy to the principal, teachers, staff, and students of Old Bight High School, Cat Island, on the tragic loss of their most recent graduate and former students. I also extend sympathy to their parents and loved ones on behalf of the executive committee and the members of the Bahamas Union of Teachers. May they rest in peace. We also pray for the recovery of those who were injured. Our prayers are with you all.
Two Bahamian pageant queens also offering their condolences to the families of those 4 young women killed in this weekend's accidents. Miss Teen International World Bahamas, Zanaya Bow, and Miss Teen Universe Bahamas, Christine Duraso, both from the Family Island, say summer is typically a time when young people travel to the capital to celebrate their achievements, prepare for college or the workforce, or simply enjoy a well-deserved break. They say no family should have to see a season of celebration end in such a heartbreak.
What you aren't thinking of is it would be the tragic end to your short-lived life. But for 4 young, bright Family Island teens, this was their harsh reality this past weekend.
Patrica, who originally is from Cat Island but moved to my hometown of Abaco, will not be forgotten. She would always support our pageant events in Abaco and would also say one day she will wear a crown. Patrica, you certainly will now wear your crown. As Family Island young women, our hearts are broken. We know the joy of working hard to achieve over our other Bahamian standouts and the exciting opportunity to come to the capital, only for it all to end in tragedy.
While countries around the world have embraced 24-hour ride-sharing services, now the discussion is gaining momentum in the country following 2 tragic weekend crashes. Our Rebecca Bain has the details.
Members of the public are questioning whether access to ride-sharing services such as Uber could provide a safer alternative and reduce the risk of traffic tragedies.
I think Uber should be implemented. I think it's a must.
Once they're just licensed, that's not a problem. License the business, because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Uber is officially licensed.
It's a discussion reignited following Sunday morning's deadly crash on Shirley Street, where 8 teens were crammed traveling in a Mazda Demio. The crash claimed the lives of 4 young women and left 4 others injured.
I was just surprised that 8 people fit in that small car. The car is only for 5, shouldn't have 8.
Not everybody, when they come in from parties, are sober. Having the Uber services available will at least deduct, a good number of these problems.
Previous efforts to introduce Uber to the Bahamas have faced significant pushback, particularly from stakeholders in the taxi industry. But as calls for modernized transportation options grow louder, Minister of Transport Leon Lundy says there are already systems in place to provide transportation outside the regular operating hours of the public bus service.
There's also taxis available 24/7.
Now, whilst Lundy suggests that these taxi services are available for late-night transportation, the price focus is typically aimed at the tourist market. And for these residents we spoke to, they believe the option is not available for the average Bahamian.
If you are downtown and you want a taxi and they see you a skin color, automatically they would say, I'm not available.
I think taxi wants to deal with Bahamians because they want to stay at the price they are.
I think they be charging $100 just to go from point A to point B. You know what I mean? Who's paying that much for that?
Meanwhile, veteran taxi operator Ricky Seeley says taxi fares are regulated by the government and claims of overpricing are the result of a few bad apples, adding that he is not opposed to exploring a ride-sharing model that operates alongside the existing taxi system.
It's not bad enough. It's a group traveling together. It's 4 of them, that's $20. That's cheap. So sometimes people know they're intoxicated. Sometimes it'd be safer for them to use a taxi to take them home safely than to really go take a chance driving and then you're under the influence. But then you look at it, you understand the more important thing is not the price, it's your life.
As the nation continues to mourn the loss of young lives, the conversation has expanded beyond the cost of the crash to whether modernizing the country's transportation network could help prevent future tragedies. Rebecca Bain, Eyewitness News.
And on to our Eyewitness News Daily Digital Poll. Eyewitness News turned to social media, posing the question, should the government revisit the legal argument on Uber-like services? 40% of the participants voted yes and allowed 24-hour transportation options. 59% voted yes, but only with strict regulations and safety measures. 1% voted no, the current legal position should remain, and 0% voted not sure. Be sure to vote on our digital daily polls posted every day on our Eyewitness News Facebook page. Well, police in Abaco are investigating a fatal traffic collision that claimed the life of a 30-year-old man following an apparent overtaking attempt on Ernestine Highway in Spring City shortly after 7 a.m. Monday. Officers responded to reports of a two-vehicle crash and arrived to find both vehicles overturned with extensive damage. The driver of a silver Nissan Note had been ejected from the vehicle and was found unresponsive at the scene. Emergency medical services personnel later confirmed he had died from his injuries. The driver of the second vehicle, a green Nissan March, complained of chest pains and was transported to the Marsh Harbor Medical Center, where he was treated and later discharged. Preliminary investigations indicate the Nissan Note was attempting to overtake another vehicle when it encountered oncoming traffic. Police say the driver attempted to merge back into the northbound lane but collided with the Nissan March, causing both vehicles to overturn. Investigations into the fatal crash remain ongoing. And in news from the crime beat, another young man falling victim to a recent surge in gun violence that also claimed the life of his neighbor. Our Jose Etienne joins me live from the scene where both shooting incidents happened just inches apart. Jose?
Well, Janelle, 3 weeks ago, I stood here as police investigated a deadly triple shooting here through Constitution Drive that happened at this residence to my left. The incident left a 21-year-old father, Edward Major, a resident here, dead, and since then, police have charged 2 men in relation to that crime. They've since been arraigned before the magistrate's court and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. Reporters were here yet again through Constitution Drive after police say a 22-year-old man who lived just across the street from where Major resided and was gunned down was also fatally shot. And now questions linger on the potential likelihood of both incidents being connected.
When officers arrived on scene, officers discovered an adult male with fatal injuries to the body. Additionally, a second victim, a female, was transported to hospital with injuries to the upper body as well. Our investigators have begun their investigation, and what they have learned is that both that male and female victim was sitting in a car at a residence when 2 males approached that vehicle, produced firearm, and discharged those firearms in the direction of that vehicle, fatally wounding the victim. We're asking anyone with any information into this matter to please contact the police at 919-911, CID at 502-9991.
Now, these incidents come as police have lamented the escalating crime rate in this community while pledging to take decisive action against it. For now, I'm Jose Etienne reporting live from Constitution Drive, sending it back to you at the desk, Janelle.
Thanks, Jose. In other news, a demand by the Free National Movement to expand the police investigation involving alleged Bahamian drug trafficker Eric Gardner ends in House uproar. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. has the details in this report.
If you wish to talk about who's defaming the reputation of the House, tell us who politician one is on that side.
Yet another verbal blowout stemming from the Free National Movement's commitment to presenting concerns related to a U.S. court matter involving alleged Bahamian drug trafficker Jonathan Eric Gardner. F&M leader Michael Pintard calling for an expansion of investigation into Gardner's alleged financial crimes following recent court rulings, which reports that on May 11, 2026, Gardner reportedly withdrew $20,000 from top-notch builders despite not being listed as a director or president of the company since 2017. According to filings at the Registrar General's office, Samson Heald has been listed as the beneficial owner of Top Notch since 2016.
To carry out a forensic review of the company's bank accounts, the KYC records held by the banks, the list of signatories, and the full transaction history to determine how long Mr. Gardner has controlled these funds and to determine how these monies have flowed.
In the letter written to the Commissioner of Police, Shanta Knowles, Pintard wrote that the disconnect, quote, between recorded ownership and actual control of funds is highly significant. He suggested that the acts could be linked to alleged money laundering. Now, while Pintard sought to bring his letter to the halls of Parliament, it was immediately shut down by House Speaker Patricia DeVoe, who declared that the investigation was before the Committee of Privilege. However, Minister of Foreign Affairs Fred Mitchell took grave exception to what he saw as Pintard defying the Speaker's orders, insisting that from his view, the FNM is seeking to paint the country in a negative light. As he highlighted headlines locally and internationally surrounding the Election Day plane crash and subsequent Gardner findings,
they think that all of us are suddenly drug barons or infested by crime, that we're corrupt, that we're crooked, and so on and so forth. Every day there's drumbeat with this rubbish, and we're not.
As for conversations surrounding the U.S. affidavit, the indictment, and the overall investigation into Gardner, DeVoe doubled down on her ban against such mentions in the lower chamber.
When that particular committee reports, then the floor is open. Okay?
Nevertheless, in its letter to the top cop, the FNM asserts new evidence points to alleged, quote, misuse of corporate and financial systems to conceal ownership, control financial flows, and obscure the origin of funds. Therefore, the party calls for a thorough and proper investigation. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, one politician who continues to find himself embroiled in the Eric Gardner case due to a brief term held as an executive of top-notch builders, Michael Halkitis, is speaking out. The finance minister and a member of parliament for St. Barnabas, Michael Halkitis, during his contribution, raised a concern regarding how he is portrayed in the public eye. He likened the reference now to the ending of the last Christie administration when he was accused of stealing the, quote, VAT money.
I had to listen to my daughter come home from school and say to me that the children were telling her, your daddy is going to jail, because the day after the election, the chairman of the then FNM said, well, we know no money was stolen. We knew it always went into the consolidated fund. Madam Speaker, politics, I always tell people the qualification for running for the House of Assembly is you have to be 21 years old. So this is big man and big woman things. I watch, Madam Speaker, some of the commentary and some of the things that are being put out there, and it casts me back to that time. And I am hopeful, but I'm not hopeful. I don't expect anything better. But it would be good in the fullness of time when everything is revealed, that those who so gleefully seek to scandalize your name with the same alacrity and enthusiasm.
In other news, another reported Bahamian national deported by United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement. As ICE officials say, Francis Polycarp recently finished his sentence after being convicted in 2018 for attempting sexual assault on a child. ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations Executive Associate Director Marcus Charles says the removal is part of operations to protect the American public by removing as many dangerous and violent criminals as possible. Officials describing Polycarp as a criminal alien, noting he entered the U.S. on a B-2 visa in 2001. Well, we've added another access point to make sure that you're up to date with news. Follow the Eyewitness News WhatsApp channel by scanning the QR code on your screen or visiting our social media pages for a direct link. And while you're there, don't forget to follow Eyewitness News on Instagram and Facebook. And if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Eye on News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms at eyewitnessnewsbahamas@gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comment section because we want to hear from you. We are just getting started in Eyewitness News, but when we come back, the Speaker of the House is defending her integrity after a heated spat on the House floor. We've got that story coming up. And later, BTVI Union is standing up for the rights of its staff members yet again. We've got more on that right after this break.
vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
Come, let's celebrate the Bahamas independence. Stop by Janae's Uniform Center and get 30% off selected Independence Polo items. Get an additional 10% volume discount for 30 or more pieces. Net items excluded. The net items, Janae's unique limited edition Independence tees. Don't forget the black, gold, and aquamarine ribbons in various sizes to decorate the home or office. Visit Janae's Chesapeake Road or text the Janae's digital team at 817-3295 or email sales@janae's.com or www.janae's.com. Happy Independence, Bahamas from Janae's.
At BOB, we take pride in our business banking.
My name is Olivia Paget. I'm the owner of the Stone Crab restaurant. I chose Bank of Bahamas as my financial partner because it's a local bank. They take care of all my financial transactions. The payroll goes through them. I describe my relationship with the Bank of Bahamas team as very friendly, really working with me as a business owner. And they are very helpful when it comes to giving advice on how to make these dreams reality.
The week moves fast. Move smart with KFC. Monday, start with crunchy deals. Tuesday, you already know it's crazy. Wednesday, keep it under $10. Thursday, the Kentucky Crunch for $7.50. Friday, the meal deal for $9.85. Saturday night, we got you covered. And Sunday, no stove today. The fill-up box feeds the family. Outsmart the week with KFC.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. Esso gas station at $7.07 per gallon. Rubis gas station, the highest right now, at $7.34 per gallon. Shell gas station, $7.03 per gallon. This is Eyewitness News, and welcome back. Tensions in the House of Assembly are flaring, with Speaker Patricia DeVoe defending her return to the chair after a heated exchange on the House floor placed her leadership style back in the spotlight. The spat causing Madam Speaker to assert her authority and shut down what she deemed out of line. Devontae Hanna reports.
Did you wait for Madam Speaker to give a ruling? I allowed those two to banter, and I gave my ruling. The problem here is everybody want to tell me how to do my job and conduct my affairs. I'm not allowing that.
Patricia DeVoe is standing her ground tonight, seemingly defending her return as Speaker of the House of Assembly after a heated back and forth between Long Island MP Dr. Andrew Rawlins and Fox Hill MP Fred Mitchell quickly put her integrity under question.
You are guarding jealously the reputation of members on the side opposite. I beseech you, Madam Speaker, I beseech you. Yes, Madam Speaker.
You hear me? I rebuke you.
Madam Speaker, why?
I rebuke you.
Why, Madam Speaker?
And I telling you, you better take a seat.
But it's not the first time Dr. Rawlins and Speaker DeVoe went back and forth. When debate opened, he warned her of having a health event, a comment that has caused widespread debate over its appropriateness. DeVoe, even in her first term, was constantly criticized for her style of governing the House, from being called biased to going toe-to-toe with opposition members. But the second time around, it has seemingly only intensified.
You don't come here and tell me how to conduct myself in this chair, because I don't want you all to go out there, tell the media I am biased. But if he persists, you know me well, and he ain't no newcomer to this house.
The Speaker also scolding opposition leader Michael Pintard and giving him advice as well.
The member for Fox Hill.
Every time I make a ruling in this place, it has started out challenged by you, Honorable Member for Marco City. But I could tell you this. In your meetings, you better control the conduct of your Honorable Member for Long Island when it comes to the managing and the handling of my name.
Rollins later rising to his own defense but was quickly shut down.
Never brought your name into disrepute.
I put my name on the record. I didn't say you.
Okay.
I said me.
Thank you.
I put my name on the record.
Okay.
So you take a seat.
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Because I am now moving on to the Honorable Member of Fox Hill and the completion of his debate.
Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
And in news from the courts, 23-year-old man Jakyle Barry being slammed with an 11-year sentence after he pled guilty to impregnating a 13-year-old girl in 2022. The sentencing comes as Justice Renee McKay rejected a 2 to 3 year sentence recommended by the defense in hopes that the sex offender would play an active role in his child's life. He pled guilty to 11 counts of unlawful intercourse. Prosecutors say the illegal sexual relationship began in August 2021 after they reportedly were introduced by the complainant's cousin. The offense took place at the complainant's grandmother's house, which the sex offender often visited. The relationship continued until April 2022 when the girl became pregnant at 13. The child he fathered with the minor is now 3 years old. Now, Justice Renee McKay asserted that Barry's actions were predatory and that he abused his access and familiarity with the complainant to take advantage of her at a tender age. Barry will spend the next decade behind bars at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. And a 23-year-old Levinsky Jean, an undocumented man, was remanded to prison after Chief Magistrate Ancella Evans charged him with having unlawful sexual intercourse with a 15-year-old girl. Police say the sex crime allegedly happened on Tuesday, June 23rd, here in New Providence. Due to the nature of the charge, he was not required to enter a plea and was denied bail. He returns to court on October 8th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. Inspector Dion Barr served as prosecutor. And the Bahamas Christian Council has announced the creation of a commission on crimes against women to examine the factors contributing to violence against women and identify ways to strengthen prevention, accountability, and support for victims. The announcement follows the reported sexual assault of a 91-year-old woman last week. In a statement, the council described the incident as not only a crime against an individual, but also a reflection of what it called a growing moral crisis in the country, while expressing support for law enforcement's efforts to bring the perpetrator to justice. The council stressed that lasting solutions will require stronger moral leadership from families, churches, schools, and communities working together to address the root cause of violence. For more on the statement, visit our social media pages. And in other news, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Tester Cooper, chiming in on a proposed local full medical school in partnership with the University of the West Indies. This comes amid efforts within the industry by the government to increase the number of qualified Bahamians in the healthcare industry as shortages in the healthcare sector persist.
We support all efforts in terms of education and training. We met with UWI a few days ago. They shared their plans with us. We have been training, doing the clinical training for doctors for a long time. Once they leave the University of West Indies and completed their academics, they come to PMH for ongoing training. That is going to continue. We've produced some of the best doctors that's practicing in the country. We support UWI. We have a subvention of about $6 million to UWI every year. We support UD, of course, our premier tertiary institution. We're doing great things at BTVI. We're going to be looking to build a new campus at BTVI. We're looking at a new school in New Providence and all across the Family Islands. So the plans are in the works.
The president of the Bahamas Union of Auxiliary Professionals in Education is raising serious concerns over the reported treatment of a senior educator during a medical leave of absence. Ernesto Williams is calling on the administration of the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute to demonstrate fairness, compassion, and transparency following allegations that the position held by Dr. Plachette McPhee was advertised just 1 week after she took sick leave to undergo life-threatening surgery. Williams further alleges that the position was filled weeks later while Dr. McPhee was still recovering, saying the decision has left union members deeply disturbed and has raised questions about how dedicated public education professionals are treated during times of medical crisis.
These turn of events have been completely unsettling to our members. So much that a plea has been made to expose how poorly employees are treated. What our members do not understand is how an employee who has served as the Institute for over a decade can be discarded as though they didn't even exist. The International Labor Organization's Declaration on Fundamental Principles and Rights at Work affirms that workers must be treated with dignity and fairness, while its Convention number 111 concerning discrimination in respect of employment and occupation speaks to equality and fairness in employment-related matters. Likewise, the broader principles of decent work underscore the importance of human treatment and employment security for workers at all levels.
Williams says instances as such puts to question just how much the institution values its dedicated staffers.
No one can deny that the timing and the distasteful appearance of this situation is nothing short of wrong and abhorrently insensitive. Workers should never be made to feel disposable, especially after giving so many years of sacrifice and service, whether they are the maintenance worker or the executive manager. Once they are good employees, that must and should count for something. If that individual could face this kind of uncertainty or backstabbing while recovering from surgery, then what protection truly exists for line staff and middle managers? Our members want Dr. McPhee to be treated with dignity and respect, especially the dignity and respect that she deserves, and for her to be re-engaged in her role or even one better.
The National Health Insurance Authority's annual report tabled outlining growth up to 2023. In 4 years ending in 2023, the National Health Insurance Authority had 161,647 beneficiaries, 144 providers, 88 facilities, 17 labs, and 26 family island physicians. Of the number of beneficiaries, 61% are females, 39% male, 23.4% children, and 76.6% adults. Some 1,400 mothers accessed maternity care. You can log on to our website at EW News for more on this report. And still to come in Eyewitness News, pre-independence celebration kicked off for the United States' 250th independence anniversary. But first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
The general public is hereby advised that the installation, placement, or display of any sign, billboard, banner, or other advertising structure within public parks, public beaches, road reserves, medians, or other public spaces require prior written approval from the authority. No sign, billboard, banner, or advertising material shall be installed, displayed, or posted in any public space without the necessary permit or authorization. Within 30 days of this notice, effective June 18, 2026, unauthorized signage may be removed and disposed of by the authority without further notice. For information on permit requirements or to obtain the necessary approvals, please contact the Permits Department at 242-604-3758. Your cooperation in preserving the safety, beauty, and orderly appearance of our public spaces is appreciated.
Independence Day is right around the corner, and so are the savings at Super Value and Quality supermarkets. Libby spaghetti and meatballs, 15 ounces, $1.69. Mahatma jasmine rice, 2 pounds, $2.99. Whole chickens, $1.89 per pound. Sweet nectarines or peaches, $2.19 per pound. Sweet strawberries, 1 pound, $5.99. Shop with confidence knowing you're saving when you're shopping the specials at Super Value and Quality supermarkets.
50 years of nation building, see the legacy we trust. Oh, the water is our lifeline and the future flows through us. From the pine barrens to the ocean, in the sun and in the dust, we are building for tomorrow and the future flows through us. Yeah, yes, yes, the future flows through us.
The Water and Sewage Corporation, celebrating 50 years of nation building.
Come, let's celebrate the Bahamas independence. Stop by Janae's Uniform Center and get 30% off selected Independence Polo items. Get an additional 10% volume discount for 30 or more pieces. Net items excluded. The net items, Janae's unique limited edition Independence tees. Don't forget the black, gold, and aquamarine ribbons in various sizes to decorate the home or office. Visit Janae's Chesapeake Road or text the Janae's digital team at 817-3295 or email sales@janae's.com or www.janae's.com. Happy Independence, Bahamas from Janae's.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Our Danielle Dean was one of the special guests to attend the U.S. Embassy's 250th Independence celebrations last weekend, and she has the recap.
Prime Minister Philip Davis, his wife Anne-Marie Davis, government and opposition officials, as well as members of the community, taking U.S. Ambassador Herschel Walker and embassy staff up on an early invitation to celebrate the U.S.'s 250-year independence celebrations this past weekend.
I see the Bahamas as being family. You know, we're so close, and that's the reason I say that we got to build on this relationship. We got to build on this partnership. And having an ambassador after 14 years, I think we can get that done.
While the two countries typically join together to discuss much more serious issues like combating crime within the jet ski and water sports industries, tonight they joined hands for something much more symbolic and much more patriotic.
The plan for the U.S. Embassy is to make this relationship even better, even stronger. And as I just said, having a U.S. ambassador, you know, I want to make, we talk about making America safe, but you're making Bahamians safe as well. Make America prosperous, making Bahamians prosperous as well. You know, it coincides. You know, I want to bring, there's a lot of American investments. I want to bring those to the Bahamas.
Bahamian soloists Beyonce Knowles and Danielle Dorset performing their rendition of the Bahamian and American national anthem. The women both defining the opportunity as once in a lifetime.
Completely ecstatic, very anxious actually. It's a stepping stone inside my upcoming career as a new upcoming world-renowned singer.
I am so honored to be singing the national anthem because it holds so much history and it really unites nations, and so it's just an honor to sing for this crowd.
The U.S. military even showcasing and flying 4 of its F-35 fighter jets over the embassy nearing the end of the ceremony. Prime Minister Philip Davis reiterating the importance of the U.S. in the Bahamas' daily economic, labor, and general affairs.
Generations of Bahamians have studied, worked, and built their lives on American soil. Our bond is built on trust.
The Prime Minister and the U.S. Ambassador say they both look ahead to a future where both countries continue to grow their bond and tackle matters of concern. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Prime Minister Philip Davis and opposition leader Michael Pintard paying homage to the United States of America ahead of their 250th anniversary of independence being celebrated on July 4th. U.S. Ambassador to the Bahamas Herschel Walker and his wife were present during House proceedings today when the remarks were given. Prime Minister Davis reflected on the long-standing relationship the Bahamas has had with the United States.
Ours is a friendship of equals. It is built on mutual respect, and it is renewed by each generation. We share more than waters and weather. We share a way of seeing the world. We believe, as our American friends believe, in the dignity of the individual. We believe in the rule of law. We believe that government draws its authority from the consent of the governed. These are not borrowed ideals. They are the common inheritance of two free peoples. And they bind us more closely than any treaty ever could.
Pintard, in his contribution, also reflecting on the importance of our two countries collaborating for the greater good.
You continue to stand globally for democratic ideals. We, as a small country, under our founding Prime Minister, motivated not just the Commonwealth nations, but many countries globally to stand up against apartheid. A small country once again punching above its weight. We are proud to have stood with the United States through many global struggles that the world has been engulfed in. You have been pivotal on the front line of a number of historic conflicts, and we are proud that we stood alongside in each of them.
Sports updates are up next.
Marco's Pizza. Marco's Pizza. Something never tasted so good. Marco's Summer Party is bringing the fun. Choose 2 large one-topping pizzas with a 2-liter soda for just $34.95. Or grab a big square deal, 1 medium, 1-topping pizzas with boneless wings for just $39.95. Enter to win weekly Baja Bay water passes and your very own Marco's Summer Party pack all summer long. Marco's Pizza. Summer never tasted so good.
Tasha, what you saying? Girl, right here, rushing to catch J.S. Johnson. I gotta renew my insurance. Oh, I with JSJ too, but I don't wait in line. I just pay online. Stop it. How you do that?
Just email info@jsjohnson.com and say, sign me up for the online service center. They'll reach out and hook you up. You ain't never have to stand in line again.
Amen to that.
Save time. Pay online. Sign up for J.S. Johnson's online service center today.
Insurance, peace of mind.
Step inside a world of adventure with Mandalorian and Grogu at Burger King. See The Mandalorian and Grogu, only in cinemas.
The general public is hereby advised that the installation, placement, or display of any sign, billboard, banner, or other advertising structure within public parks, public beaches, road reserves, medians, or other public spaces require prior written approval from the authority. No sign, billboard, banner, or advertising material shall be installed, displayed, or posted in any public space without the necessary permit or authorization. Within 30 days of this notice, effective June 18, 2026, unauthorized signage may be removed and disposed of by the authority without further notice. For information on permit requirements or to obtain the necessary approvals, please contact the Permits Department at 242-604-3758. Your cooperation in preserving the safety, beauty, and orderly appearance of our public spaces is appreciated.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Devontae Hanna, and welcome to Eyewitness Sports. Mako Aquatic Swim Club showing its dominance in the pool over the weekend, claiming their 8th straight title at the Bahamas Aquatics Federation's National Swimming Championships. Mako miles ahead of the competition, securing the national crown with 2,259 points, with over 108 gold, 85 silver, and 66 bronze. Here's what Coach had to say.
It feels good, man. Long 4 days. The swimmers did outstanding, staying composed and staying focused throughout.
a long, hard 4 days, right? Some strong swims, some records broken tonight on the relay. So, very proud of our swimmers. And on the whole, the country, swimming is doing well. So, very proud of all the clubs. Congrats to everyone, in a very good nationals again this year. Success is with, it's a combination of things, right? The swimmers, the coaches, the parenting, the support. I always say support is a big thing when it comes to success in swimming. And, as you can see, we have everything here for them: ice baths, Gatorade, water, fruits, even the fans trying to keep in the tent, a little cooler throughout a long 4 days. Right?
Meantime, Shana Milowibo was back on the track this weekend at the Boris Hanzakovic Memorial in Croatia, where she won the women's 200 meters in 22.19 seconds. Milowibo with a strong start after the gun, leading into the 50-meter mark. By the time she got into the 100-meter straight, it was over. The double Olympic champion powered to the finish line using her quarter-mile strength. Thelma Davis finished behind her in 22.76 seconds, while J.L. Bestue finished in 22.8 seconds. Well, that's your look at sports. Once again, I'm Devontae Hanna. More news continues right after this break.
His first official visit to an educational institution since assuming the portfolio, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Science and Technology, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, met with University of the Bahamas leaders to discuss the institution's strategic future and strengthen government collaboration.
I believe collectively, with the support of me as Minister, the support of the government, support of yourselves, I believe we can truly achieve the vision that you've set and the contributions that you have put in. Hopefully we can see them all come to fruition in a manner that you desire.
UB President Dr. Robert Blaine welcomed the meeting with ministry officials and praised the Board of Trustees for their work.
Having an alumnus as the minister is one of the best things that we could possibly ask for, and we're grateful. Grateful for that. I want to join the chair in saying that I have an incredible team. These are the people that do the real work. They do the heavy lifting here, and they make opportunities for our students that are just beyond imagination.
Chairperson of the board, Allison Maynard Gibson, expressed her gratitude to DPM Cooper for the timely visit and outlined the university's key priorities.
The board's number one priority is international and national accreditation. We already happily have become a candidate for SAC-COC accreditation. We expect by the end of this year to finish our compliance requirements.
John Lee McIntosh for Air Talk.
This year, Island Luck Sportsbook sent one of their very own customers all the way to San Antonio to watch Game 5 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks closed it out right then and there. No Game 6, no Game 7. Our customer was sitting in that arena the night the championship was decided. That's the kind of luck we talking about at Island Luck Sportsbook. Winners live here. Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, next week on July 9th, join Verizon Media Group along with the Eyewitness News team, 103.5 The Beat, Eye on the Nation, and Beyond the Headlines at our blood drive, being held right here at ILTV Studios from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. as we do our part to help assist in tackling the shortage of blood at the country's blood bank. We hope to see you all join us next week, right before Independence Day, for this community event. And coming up in Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller, a full dissection of today's top stories that's coming up and Beyond the Headlines that starts right after this. And that does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janelle Longley saying goodnight.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza,
Whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
A weekend of heartbreak on Bahamian streets. 6 lives lost, including 4 teenagers. Tonight, the Royal Bahamas Police Force is here to answer, is there a road safety crisis in the Bahamas? Also tonight, the Free National Movement asking the police to broaden its investigation into the Eric Gardner matter. We talk about that. Michael Halkitis is talking about the hit his reputation has taken as a result of the back and forth regarding having worked in a company where Eric Gardner has an interest. It's all straight ahead for you tonight. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Families and communities are grappling with overwhelming grief as they mourn the loss of their loved ones whose lives were snuffed out after a brutal car crash that sent shockwaves throughout the nation, triggering an outpouring of reaction from government, stakeholders, and residents. Jose Etienne picks up the story from here.
She was one of them that survived, and it wasn't her, and it's just nerve-wracking.
Then Sandria Wright was one of scores of relatives whose lives were shattered after their loved ones were killed during a horrific car accident early Sunday morning. The crash claimed the lives of 4 teens, one of them being Wright's niece, 18-year-old Patricia Brown, who recently graduated from Agape Christian School in Abaco. The mourning relatives huddled outside the Princess Margaret Hospital morgue, visibly distraught and united by grief as their worst fears awaited confirmation.
My worst nightmare has come true.
Her death cuts deep as relatives say they were robbed of witnessing Patricia live out a life filled with promise and potential. The young victim reportedly received a full scholarship to play volleyball in college. And that was a similar case for other victims who recently graduated high school or were already matriculating in university.
They were all females who had a very bright future, and it's just been lost. So you kind of just feel hurt, and empty.
For the surviving relatives, the tragedy has become a cruel repetition of grief, reviving memories of past loss while inflicting a fresh and devastating wound.
My niece has lost both parents, and for her brother and aunts to have to come and deal, it is hard, and they don't know what happened.
What deepened their trauma was the rapid spread of graphic videos documenting the aftermath of the incident, repeatedly exposing them to traumatic scenes of the final moments of those who died.
We need to find something that disallows person to do things like that, because this is very distasteful. And then the comments following it We don't know if they were drunk because the autopsy didn't say blood was in their alcohol was in their blood. We don't know if he was speeding because we don't have the report if there was skid marks or not. It's just a bunch of hearsay and people assume because they're a bunch of young people that they were out there drunk and partying and whatever. And for families to read that is really, really hard.
Eyewitness News understands the 19-year-old male driver of the incident survived but was left with a broken wrist. The other survivors, a 25-year-old male, 21-year-old male, and a 19-year-old female, are still receiving critical care at the hospital. It is expected that an autopsy will be conducted to determine the exact cause of death. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, Prime Minister Philip Davis leading a moment of silence in the House of Assembly this morning, a recognition of the 5 young, in fact 6, because Abaco had another traffic fatality earlier today, who lost their lives in separate incidents over the weekend. One of those incidents unfolding on Saturday night involving those 8 individuals, the story that we saw a moment ago from Jose. We heard, of course, that 4 teenage women lost their lives, and others, of course, another accident in Grand Bahama where another woman lost her life. Here is Prime Minister Davis.
5 young Bahamians, 5 families broken, 5 futures we will never see unfold. There's no speech that can fill the space these young people leave behind. There's no policy that can answer a mother, father, who has lost their child. All that this House can honestly offer today is our presence, our prayers, and our promise. The promise that we will do everything in our power to protect the young people of this nation so that fewer families are made to grieve as these families. So on behalf of the government and the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, I extend our deepest and most sincere condolences to each of the 5 families that bear an unbearable loss.
Well, is there a road safety crisis in the Bahamas? Joining me this evening are Police Press Liaison Officer, Chief Superintendent Sharia King, and Superintendent Karen Jennings of the Police Traffic Division. Officers, thank you all so much for being here. Good evening to both of you.
Thank you for having us.
It really is quite unfortunate what happened. I mean, so many families, communities are numbed tonight. We know that. But, you know, we also want to really kind of just put this into perspective. Before we begin in the discussion, what is your message to the families, 6 of them, communities who are mourning the loss of lives tonight?
Well, first of all, from the Commissioner of Police, Ms. Shanta Knowles, as well as her executives and all the members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, we want to extend our condolences to the family and then to let them know that we are here for them and that our thoughts and prayers are with those that have been injured, the family of those that have been injured. And so that's the first thing we want to do. We want to extend the condolences to them. But Shanique, more importantly, this is a tragic moment not only for those families, but for the entire Bahamian society, because I think this hurt and shook the entire country to have these young persons with such great potential be lost in such a tragedy.
Absolutely. I mean, again, everybody is still shocked. And it's not something you get over quickly and overnight. You know, Superintendent Jennings, if you would like to maybe perhaps extend similar sentiments before we get into the discussion.
Just to piggyback off what Mrs. King stated, you know, this is an era of social media. We advise the family members and persons who are close to the family to stay away from social media because it can be where they are reading things, and this is a time for them to grieve, and things may be said that may hinder them in the process of grieving. Yes. So at this time, I just admonish them to, you know, just stay away from social media at this time.
Good advice. And tonight's discussion is not intended to pile on or to be insensitive of what's happening right now. It really is to hopefully get all of us on the straight and narrow in that once we are driving a vehicle or a passenger in a vehicle, that we leave home safely and return. Yes. That's really the bottom line. Definitely. And so I'd like to ask you all, what does this say, this weekend alone? I mean, many times on a Friday evening, Leslie Miller would scream over me, "You all drive safely this weekend, eh?" Because we know what's been happening recently, Chief Superintendent, right? And Superintendent. What does this say about the current state of affairs and road safety in the Bahamas?
Well, Shanique, what I would say is that the Royal Bahamas Police Force spares no effort. I mean, every single week we send out the carrying call stating to be safe. Our traffic division consistently every week are out there on the streets reminding motorists of how to traverse the streets safely. Our Public Affairs and Communication Department is sending out our PSAs and various flyers to ensure the public is notified, and we communicate that we must traverse these streets of our country. And this is not only in New Providence. This is in Grand Bahama, this is in Abaco, this is in all of our family islands, because many of our family islands have also been touched with traffic fatalities. So the police force have been out there, and we just encouraging the general public to just heed our warning, heed our advice, heed our communication, heed our PSAs, because one life save is just, that's what we're trying to do, to save at least one life every single time you traverse the streets.
So the impression is that the police is sometimes lenient when it comes to persons with traffic infractions. How do you respond to that tonight?
Well, I would not say that we are lenient. We have something that we call discretion. But I can say, as the second in charge of the traffic division, we are out there every day. We have the cyclists, we have our mobile division, our mobile section that traverse the streets. And I could say today that our ticket count is way more than it was last year.
Exactly.
So to say that the officers out there sparing people or being lenient, I don't have that information, because our ticket count is way above what it was last year.
So the police is doing its part.
Yes, we are.
Let's talk about youth drivers. What message do you send tonight to first-time drivers, young drivers, who people may feel sometimes they're not exercising perhaps the greatest, measure of just sensible and handling and driving of a vehicle on the streets? What message do you send, and how do you now improve, enhance, ensure that first-time drivers, youth drivers, understand the rules of the road, understand what the laws are as it relates to operating a vehicle on the streets?
What I would say is that it has to start from the home, the parents. We also have young people who are out there working, doing summer jobs, doing jobs after school, and they're saving up and they're buying vehicles. But it starts with the parents. These children bring these vehicles home. You have to ensure that they are a holder of a driver's license.
Yes.
That the vehicles are insured and they are covered, because we have instances where people insure these vehicles, but they are not covered to drive these vehicles. So the enforcement part of it is there, but also the education of reaching out to the younger people and just letting them know that get your permit, you could get it at 17, get your driver's license, and make sure that you are covered on the vehicle's insurance once you are ready to drive. And once you are ready to drive, listen to all the PSAs. We have billboards, we do PSAs, and sometimes we are even out there handing out flyers and speaking to these drivers.
One of the things also, Shanique, we're talking about these PSAs, but what is in these PSAs is to slow down. If you're late, late is late. You're not going to be no later than late. So take your time. Do not speed. make certain that when you're overtaking, your way is clear to overtake. Don't be zigzagging out in and out of traffic. That is your life, and you have to treasure your life. Make certain that you are not distracted while you're driving. Put the phones down. Nassau is just 21/7. It's going to take you in traffic, about an hour to get where you're going. 1 hour without your cell phone to save your life is better than you being distracted on the cell phone and getting in an accident.
And this is where I want to look at now and take this discussion to. Are you seeing more and more distracted drivers for any number of reasons? Distracted, however it is, particularly with the cell phone?
Our statistics state that there has been an increase in traffic accidents regarding distractions and the cell phones. Not only the cell phones, but people putting on their makeup, trying to eat.
Yes.
Just simple distractions.
Yes.
And we get numerous just rare accidents where people are not paying attention. So it is a call for concern. But as I stated before, we are out there, and if you are caught with your cell phone in your hand, you will be cited. And that's a part of our everyday duties.
Do you think distraction, and I know these investigations are brand new and fresh, but was there perhaps, what are initial investigations showing into these matters that happened over the weekend, whether distracted, whether impaired, speed?
Well, Shanique, you can appreciate we are about 36 hours into the investigation. We're still speaking to witnesses and trying to gather what truly happened during this accident or for this particular incident. And so we do not want to speculate. Our investigation is ongoing, and you will also appreciate that this matter may have to go to coroner's court. And so we have to be very careful and responsible as the Royal Bahamas Police Force in speculating on what could or what did or what might have happened. But we want to make certain that we speak, and when we speak with facts and verifiable information.
And that's understood, totally understandable. Let's look at sort of a point system. You know, in the United States, there's a point deducted from your license, and after so many, your license is suspended. Yes. What is it to enforce and ensure that Bahamians are mindful and understand the privilege it is to drive, but also responsibly on the streets? What is being perhaps thought of and put forward to make the streets safer and the driving experience safer?
Okay, so on a regular basis, the Traffic Division, Royal Bahamas Police Force, and the Road Traffic Department, we have meetings to see how we can come together, and also we have lawyers who come in these meetings to see how we could amend some laws and change
the police is trying to put forward some suggestions of its own.
Yes. So we are trying to change the system where you would have, it's not really a point system, but more like if you have an offense, you will have to do classes, then it get more stringent the more you offend. And it would lead to probably a suspension of your license or even having it taken away permanently.
Yes. Do you all feel, and obviously you're discussing and have been putting forward suggestions and meetings to firm up the traffic laws and people who violate those laws, but are current penalties that are in place, do you think they're sufficient?
Well, the penalties can be more stringent, but over the past years, as we've seen that some of the laws were changed, amended, especially when it came to traffic fatalities. So there are some things in motion and continuously. So we are working at that end to probably increase the fines and increase some of the penalties.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with Superintendent Jennings. I truly believe that as we progress as a country, we have to review adjust and adapt to what is going to be best. What are we seeing? What are the trends we're seeing? And I think the initiatives that he spoke about is one such way of us doing it.
Yes, now let's go back to the public and public appeal tonight. You see many people just, again, driving with such reckless abandonment, right? How do you speak tonight to anyone, whether they be a first-time driver, a youth driver, or seasoned motorists, but again, who do the things on the street, who has the phone in their hand driving, who is distracted with whatever else it could be, on the road, behind the wheel of a vehicle, and again, moving on the streets?
Okay, so I would say in the last 10 years, the amount of vehicles that has increased on the streets has increased tremendously. Some houses have 3 and 4 cars. So driving now is very much different from that driving 10 years ago. Everybody has access to vehicles. So I'd say to just be careful. You'll see that the traffic is more heavier. Even sometimes when you get out in the morning early, you want to get out early, but early don't mean nothing anymore.
No,
6:30, 7 o'clock.
Or the school being closed don't mean nothing.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yes. So there's no need to rush. And the life you save may be your own, but also as a driver, you have to be cognizant of other people. You may, because we see a lot of accidents, people will be driving safe, and someone just by accident, that's what it is, an accident, collide into you. So I just admonish people to drive safe, drive slow. You're gonna get where you're going. Put your seatbelt on. Yes. Put the kids in the seat in the car seats,
yeah.
And make sure everybody in the car has on their seatbelt.
Yes, that's important as well.
Very much so.
Chief Superintendent, do you have any final remarks?
I piggyback off of Superintendent Jennings, and that is just be careful. Do not be distracted. Everything that you're being distracted for can wait until you reach your destination. That is what I would say.
Thank you very much. Can we expect, I guess, more enforcement and stronger presence in the weeks, months, and obviously beyond?
Well, what I would say is we've been there, Shanique. We've been out there doing our job, but that we are not going to let up in making certain that the Bahamian public continue to be notified and communicated to, and ensure that they know that as we traverse the streets, we have to do it courteously among everyone.
I thank you very much, Chief Superintendent Sharia King, Superintendent Karen Jennings of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Thank you, officers, very, very much, and thank you for being here this evening after such a tragic weekend. Yes. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, the Hot Topics panel will give their views on all that's taken place over the weekend, and also we're going to look at some Parliament news. It's all straight ahead tonight on Beyond the Headlines.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokes model. And I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like you can put on your blanket. Well, just look at those. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, presses you, and entertains you 24/7.
Did you know that when you shop at cbsbahamas.com, you can see directly into our vendors' warehouses? What that means is even if we only have a dozen of an item available in store, you can order virtually as many as you want directly from our vendors and have it delivered to your doorstep in just 10 to 14 days. You don't have to worry about shipping, imports, duties, or any of the hard stuff. Our back order program is unique and it's only at cbsbahamas.com.
This year, Island Luck Sportsbook sent one of their very own customers all the way to San Antonio to watch Game 5 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks closed it out right then and there. No Game 6, no Game 7. Our customer was sitting in that arena the night the championship was decided. That's the kind of luck we talking about at Island Luck Sportsbook. Winners live here. Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in this evening. Of course, quite an unfortunate weekend, and our thoughts and prayers are with the families and communities and everyone impacted this evening. Well, I'm going to now bring in the Hot Topics panel just to give their views and thoughts on it, on all that's transpired, on what the police has said, they are now pushing for, which are firmer laws and just sort of new introductions and enhancements to the traffic laws so that motorists on the streets again drive more responsibly. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Leslie Miller, Michael Turnquest, Howard Johnson. Gentlemen, good evening to you.
Good evening, Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Bahamas.
It's quite unfortunate.
Good evening, colleagues. Good to see you, Leslie. Thank you, sir. I can't get beat.
You can't get Leslie. Be quiet. Be quiet and stay focused. But thanks for the comic relief. Seriously, thank you. Howard, I'll explain to you after. Listen, so gentlemen, we heard the police a moment ago again making their plea, but we saw just the destruction and loss of life on the streets of here in New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco over the weekend. Your thoughts on everything that's happened?
Shanique, it's very unfortunate. I really don't want to say much on what would have happened with the accident, whether it be in Grand Bahama, but I just I hope that this is a lesson, and people would even the police make people see what we just need to be careful on our streets. We just need to use, I know at one point the police used to have a setup showing you, what can happen with a car in a car crash in terms of, whether it be, casualties or whether it be, injuries. But, people need to use this as an example, and whether it be kids, whether it be adults, the roads, cars are not, they're not walls of steel. I mean, these things are meant to, they're man-made, they aren't going to,
they close up on in a minute.
And I think we drive these things like, that we're invincible. And, we just have to be very careful. We have to be, whether it be wet roads, whether it be, the little small vehicles we see swerving in and out of traffic, throughout the day, we just have to, and even when you drive a vehicle, you can't just drive for yourself. You have to drive for other people. You have to be very cautious of people around you because people are skylarking, doing foolishness on the road, and you just have to be very careful.
Yeah, Shanique, my condolences to the family of the persons who lost their lives, and also I pray for strength and resolve for the family members and relatives and friends of the persons who are still fighting for their lives, and as they convalesce after they get through it. It was a tragic weekend for the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and it's so sad to see these young people who had so much time ahead of them, or so we thought, to lose their lives in such a terrible way. I mean, words can't even express what these people are going through. And to show you how small the Bahamas is, when you look at all of the persons who lost their lives over the weekend, I think there was a young lady who lost her life in Grand Bahama,
yes,
and a gentleman who lost his life in Abaco as well.
Yes.
And when you look at those people, including the 4 and the injured from Nassau, you could say that everybody in the Bahamas knows somebody who was connected to the people who have lost their lives and the people who are related to them or in their circle. This is how small the Bahamas is. So when we say this is a loss for Bahamian society, it's touched everybody, Shanique. And I really hope that we begin to seriously pay attention to what's going on our streets. And also, quickly, I want to address some of the things that are going on in terms of that social media. I know Chief Superintendent Jennings said that people should stay away from social media. Well, that's only one part of it, Yeah, people should stay away from social media sometimes, but people also have to be responsible because you can't tell somebody, family member, to stay away from social media. The people who record, they pick up their phones and they record and ask questions later or don't ask questions at all. But everybody feels like they have a right to record and they have a right to do these things until it's them that situation.
And then
when it's them,
go and post
then
it.
it's a problem.
Everybody looking for likes.
To go, likes and shares.
I want to start by expressing my deepest sympathy and really express sympathy for all Bahamians on the tragic loss of 6 lives over the weekend. I mean, it's a situation that is so deafening and so painful. Only those of us who lose a loved one realize the parents, especially the mother and the father and the sisters and brothers, the uncles and aunts, their friends. These young girls were ready to go off to school, to colleges. Some had scholarships, and their life was just cut short. We have to do better. You got to ask the first question. It's 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. A car full with 8 kids driving. I always tell my grandchildren, I want to be at after 12 o'clock, man. They're supposed to be home. There's so much out there it's so destructive. The lady in Grand Bahama really hurt me when persons went on Facebook and, putting these things out there. That she was drinking at the party. I mean, they have no regard for the pain and suffering that these families go through. It bothers me. We almost like savages, We just like to hear things. That's bad.
Until it's us.
I trust that God would get into the minds and hearts of the parents, the lost ones, loved ones, and ease their pain. Because that could be more tragic than sending your kids out, especially one young girl from Cat Island. She came here living with her her grandfather and met her for the first time and didn't return home. What does he tell his children, that your daughter dead? And people need to be more sensitive in our country, man. There's no sensitivity. There's no love. And that's what we've lost. The love to share the grief that others face. And I trust that God will get the hearts of everyone and make us a better people and just express our deepest sympathy on the tragic loss of life for those 6 persons.
Wise words, Leslie.
Disheartening.
Wise words. Well, shifting gears, there is a demand by the Free National Movement to the police to expand its investigation involving alleged Bahamian drug trafficker Eric Gardner. And of course, that call ended with an uproar in the House of Assembly. Linton Ritchie Jr. has the story.
reputation of the House. Tell us who politician one is on that side.
Yet another verbal blowout stemming from the Free National Movement's commitment to presenting concerns related to a U.S. court matter involving alleged Bahamian drug trafficker Jonathan Eric Gardner. F&M leader Michael Pintard calling for an expansion of investigation into Gardner's alleged financial crimes following recent court rulings, which reports that on May 11, 2026, Gardner reportedly withdrew $20,000 from top-notch builders despite not being listed as a director or president of the company since 2017. According to filings at the Registrar General's office, Samson Heald has been listed as the beneficial owner of Top Notch since 2016.
To carry out a forensic review of the company's bank accounts, the KYC records held by the banks, the list of signatories, and the full transaction history to determine how long Mr. Gardner has controlled these funds and to determine how these monies have flowed.
In the letter written to the Commissioner of Police, Shanta Knowles, Pintard wrote that the disconnect, quote, between recorded ownership and actual control of funds is highly significant. He suggested that the acts could be linked to alleged money laundering. Now, while Pintard sought to bring his letter to the halls of Parliament, it was immediately shut down by House Speaker Patricia DeVoe, who declared that the investigation was before the Committee of Privilege. However, Minister of Foreign Affairs Fred Mitchell took grave exception to what he saw as Pintard defying the Speaker's orders, insisting that from his view, the F&M is seeking to paint the country in a negative light. As he highlighted headlines locally and internationally surrounding the Election Day plane crash and subsequent Gardner findings,
they think that all of us are suddenly drug barons or infested by crime, that we're corrupt, that we're crooked, and so on and so forth. Every day there's drumbeat with this rubbish, and we're not.
As for conversations surrounding the U.S. affidavit, the indictment, and the overall investigation into Gardner, DeVoe doubled down on her ban against such mentions in the lower chamber.
When that particular committee reports, then the floor is open. Okay?
Nevertheless, in its letter to the top cop, the F&M asserts new evidence points to alleged, quote, misuse of corporate and financial systems to conceal ownership, control financial flows, and obscure the origin of funds. Therefore, the party calls for a thorough and proper investigation. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Gentlemen, no doubt that back and forth will continue until either the case happens or Gardner is sent back home and the House committee reports its findings. One politician who continues to find himself embroiled in the Eric Gardner case due to a brief term held as an executive of Top Notch Builders, Michael Alcides. Well, today he spoke out. The finance minister and member of parliament for St. Barnabas says during his contribution that he is concerned regarding how he is being portrayed in the public eye. He likened the reference now to the ending of the last Christie administration when he was accused of stealing the VAT money.
I had to listen to my daughter come home from school and say to me that the children were telling her, your daddy is going to jail, because the day after the election, the chairman of the then F&M said, well, we know no money was stolen. We knew it always went into the consolidated fund. Madam Speaker, politics, I always tell people the qualification for running for the House of Assembly is you have to be 21 years old. So this is big man and big woman things. I watch, Madam Speaker, some of the commentary and some of the things that are being put out there, and it cast me back to that time. And I am hopeful, but I'm not hopeful. I don't expect anything better. No. But it would be good in the fullness of time when everything is revealed. Yes. That those who so gleefully seek to scandalize your name with the same alacrity and enthusiasm.
Well, gentlemen, there you have it. So the country's reputation continues to be dragged even from on the floor of Parliament as questions continue to go back and forth and remarks exchanged between sides opposite. And then, of course, you heard Alcides say how he is being impacted as well as his family. Your thoughts on this? Now, we know that there's been a committee appointed in Parliament to do their own investigation. Pintard says, listen, he's sent a letter to the commissioner for her to expand and broaden the investigation by the police force. Your thoughts on how this continues to be that big elephant in the room?
Shanique, I think, the reality is this is a ongoing investigation, ongoing court case, and we, just as I think, we get the information as it comes out of the U.S. courts, piece and piece, I think it just trickles on down, but when it comes to, and I guess when it comes to companies, like, you either, me working for a company, Mr. Miller, anyone, any one of us can be caught up in something of this, whether it be, some of the big banks who go through, you see scandals, whether it be money laundering and things all the time. At the end of the day, if you're not the actual individual who has access, when I say access to those funds where you can go and take all the money out as you wish, put it back in, any one of us can get caught up in I call it, we call it a scandal or an investigation that's currently ongoing. Because at the end of the day, I am not, if I work for a company, I'm not the owner of the company. Sometimes most of us who work for these large corporations, we don't even know who's the actual shareholders. And, so I mean, at the end of the day, let the investigation continue, let the apples fall where they may, and at the end of the day, the truth will come out, and who is then accused will be accused. And that's what we just feel as though we're beating a dead horse at the end of the day, and all day wasting time when other things can be being done, and then the matter is concluded, then we say, okay, we know who's lying and who's not.
Yeah, Shanique, sometimes when you're making political arguments versus legal arguments, things can get a little dicey, right? So let me tell you what I think personally is fair. That Mr. Pintard, in his capacity as the leader of the opposition and an elected member of the House of Assembly in the Bahamas, Mr. Pintard can ask questions about a principal or someone connected to a company that is doing business with the government of the Bahamas, as far as their finances, what they are doing, whether they're above board. He can ask those questions. I believe that those questions are fair about any company that is doing business with the government of the Bahamas. Now, what I think is beyond the pale is when you are asking the government of the Bahamas, when you are asking the commissioner of police to do something about a legal matter that took place in the United States waters by United States law enforcement officials.
Do with us.
The law enforcement officials that picked up Mr. Gardner and took him into custody and are in the process of prosecuting him to the fullest extent of American law. They have to do what they have to do. That has nothing to do with Brave Davis and his government and what's going on in that company, until and unless the United States presents its final findings as the conclusion of the U.S. courts. Now, what I would be doing if I were Prime Minister Davis, because someone named as politician one, right? Which could be anybody. It could be someone in the PLP or the FNM, or someone who is no longer in Parliament. We don't know. This is 2024, before election. But the point is, right? If I were Prime Minister Davis, I would be concerning myself with, well, there's a possibility that this.
Leslie, jump in.
I think we got to ask one question before we go too far with this situation. I thought that in the Western Hemisphere, under the Westminster system, a person is generally viewed to be not guilty. They have to be found guilty. That they are innocent until proven guilty. In this situation, Mr. Pintard, the man is already guilty. He should be hung. And I'm telling you from my own experience on the campaign trail for the last 18 months, the one complaint the average women had against Mr. Pintard is that the man say the same thing over and over and over. You talk to women, say, Portcake, I get tired. I get tired of hearing him with the same, and I can't vote for him. The man wouldn't quit. Why are you doing this? The man was picked up in international waters. Has nothing to do with the Bahamas, the police force, you directing people what to do. This is not a case for us. The United States brought charges against him, not the Bahamas. Let the case go forward. When you get the findings, then discuss this in Parliament, say, I want some answers from the government. If the government had any involvement with this man, let the country know what it is. But for Christ's sake, man, give it a rest. Be tired.
You know, I think a question could be, you know, I don't, some of the details as it relates to, you know, to Mr. Gardner withdrawing funds from the bank, you know, and I don't know whether his name appears on the document or a signatory, or whatever, however it may be. Because I mean, everything is so misconstrued in terms of, you know, all the details. You know, some saying his name is not there, some saying he is a signatory. He was the one that went to the bank withdrawing the cash. You know, at the end of the day, you know, maybe the banks need to, whether they relay the information or clear some things up. You know, but there's...
Well, I imagine, again, the investigation, because the bank ain't just going to volunteer.
And then with regard to Michael Ketis, he has a man who's been trying to make a valuable contribution to our country. He's been in Parliament. His wife is a doctor. He has 2 kids at college. You know, when these kids go to school, they have pairs, you know. You see your daddy's a thief. Your daddy's a drug. And they say that.
Yeah.
And you got to be wary of that, man, because it's a painful thing for your son or daughter to come home crying. Daddy, they should use a drug dealer. You was fooled around with these drugs. It is not fair to the children and the family, man. Show some sensitivity. Could happen to you.
Gentlemen, of course, this story isn't something that's going away. We certainly will continue to follow this and see exactly where it leads. As you said, Michael, whatever the investigation reveals, then of course this is what we discuss and what it is that we hope that everyone is held accountable if there is a need for that. And if not, let's just move on with the business of the country. Meanwhile, though, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we are perhaps going to certainly get to something with the Christian Council and something they're addressing, and then a little bit later, an effort by Verizon Media. Tell you more about that after the break.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Husband and all this shit, man.
The Bahamas Christian Council is extending condolences to the families and loved ones of 5 young women who lost their lives in Sunday's tragic traffic accident in New Providence. In a statement, the Christian Council described the deaths as not only devastating for the families, but also profound loss for the nation, saying the young victims represented promise, talent, and the future of the Bahamas. The council is calling on churches throughout the country to support the grieving families through prayer and counseling, practical assistance, and pastoral care. It is also encouraging Bahamians to continue remembering the families in prayer in the weeks and months ahead as they cope with their loss. You all, I thought this was something to do with on sexual assaults. I'm not seeing that script. So in any event, let's just move forward. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Chester Cooper, chiming in on a proposed local full medical school in partnership with the University of the West Indies. This comes amid efforts within the industry and by the government to increase the number of qualified Bahamians in the healthcare industry as shortages in healthcare sector persists.
We support all efforts in terms of education and training. We met with UWI a few days ago. They shared their plans with us. We have been training, doing the clinical training for doctors for a long time. Once they leave the University of West Indies and completed their academics, they come to PMH for ongoing training. That is going to continue. We've produced some of the best doctors that's practicing in the country. We support UWI. We have a subvention of about $6 million to UWI every year. We support UB, of course, our premier tertiary institution. We're doing great things at BTVI. We're going to be looking to build a new campus at BTVI. We're looking at a new school in New Providence and all across the Family Islands. So the plans are in the works.
Of course, this Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper speaking of a new proposed health campus for University of the West Indies to be able to assist with the shortages in healthcare and have Bahamians qualified in filling those jobs. Well, the Bahamas Christian Council has announced the creation of a commission of crimes against women to examine the factors contributing to violence against women and identify ways to strengthen, prevent, and create accountability while supporting the victims. The announcement follows the reported sexual assault of a 91-year-old woman last week. In a statement, the council described the incident as not only a crime against an individual, but also a reflection of what it called a growing moral crisis in the country. While expressing support for law enforcement efforts to bring the perpetrator to justice, the council stressed that lasting solutions will require stronger moral leadership from families, churches, schools, and communities working together to address the root causes of violence. Your thoughts, gentlemen. We discussed it last week, but the sexual assault of a 91-year-old woman and the Christian Council calling and announcing the creation of a commission on crimes against women so that those laws are strengthened and women, regardless of their age, is further protected.
You know, Shanique, this isn't the first or second time, and you hear men committing crimes. I mean it should not be done on anyone. I don't care if it's a woman, man, whatever it may be. At the end of the day, a 91-year-old who is, something has to be wrong. I mean, with the fabric of our country, or young men in our country, whether it be young, old, to even think such a thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's your grandmother, somebody's mother. I mean, something really needs to be. Those type of people, I think, should be put. They should not even put in jail. If they are to be put in jail, they should be lost in jail, never to be seen again. I mean, that I just can't fathom. Who would think, sit down and think to do such a thing. I mean, that wasn't the first one, And that's my point.
But who would be, I mean, for whomever this man is, to be so hard up.
Man, a very close family member. I understand.
And this, this is just something that happens. It doesn't not. And I don't know if this happened in New Providence, but it's something that happens on the family islands. Whether it be young kids.
To be so warped.
It's something. These things need to be addressed. These things, not the victims, but these persons need to be made known to the public.
And that is why the Sexual Offenders Registry that has been knocked down and called off by Sandra Dean Patterson. The government has then agreed with her that the Sexual Offenders Registry should not be made public.
The minister doesn't want it either.
But gentlemen, your thoughts about all of this, Howard?
Yeah, I think the Sexual Offenders Registry should be made public. Because if it's not made public and if you don't know who is where, you have a public Sexual Offenders Registry here in the state of Florida where I live. And those offenders can't live within certain distances of schools and places of worship and other places like that, right? And they have restrictions on them with where they can go, where they can work, what they can do. And that is as a result of the Offenders Registry being public. I know, that's another matter. I don't want to stay on that for too long, but I want to get on the 91-year-old. That's not only someone's mother, that's a great-grandmother. That is a great-grandmother. This is a 91-year-old, right? Almost 100. And people who commit these kind of heinous crimes should be hung upside down by their genitalia and then castrated. We are talking about straightening the laws. There are some things, Shanique, that are beyond the pale.
Exactly.
And should get maximum. I'm talking about the biblical type justice, okay?
Yeah.
You can't just put these people in jail and give them 3 hots and a cot, they call it, and we be feeding them our taxpayers' money until they get out or for the rest of their life. Upside down by your genitals and then castrate you.
But you realize it's people like them that cause innocent people, whether it be fathers, family members, to do other heinous crimes because they out of anger. These people should be known to the public, so at least the families or myself or anybody know that this is the person who's among us, and we need to know we cannot leave any type.
Exactly.
This is what they make innocent people become animals.
Yes.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Since COVID, so much has happened in our country, as in many countries around the world, There was a study done in England and elsewhere in Europe and the United States. And the advent of COVID has caused men to get in so much trouble with raping little girls and little boys and what have you. We realize that COVID probably came out of the darkest part of hell. But for what took place last week, it's not the first time a lady over 90 has been raped.
Yep.
It's not the first time.
It's not.
And yet we stand back as a country and we're going to say that, leave that alone. Let it slide.
But who are we protecting?
So here we are protecting those who have... Listen, think about that, man. Think about a great-great-grandmother that she is going to meet her God and make her shortly. And that's the trauma that she faced before she leave home. She's going to die pretty soon because of that. Where's the conscience? Where's the humanity?
Again, who are we protecting? Who certainly
it has to be.
Mike, who you protecting?
It has to be a group of individuals that they want to protect. They don't want their names to get out. It has to be something. I cannot imagine why you would want to keep those names from hide those names from the public.
Yeah, we will certainly we will continue to discuss that matter about that Sexual Offenders Registry. Meanwhile, gentlemen, next week on July 9th, join Verizon Media Group along with the Eyewitness News team. 103.5 The Beat, Eye on the Nation, and Beyond the Headlines at our blood drive being held right here at the ILTV studios from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. as we do our part to help assist in tackling the shortage of blood at the country's bloodline. We hope to see you all next week, right before Independence Day, for this community event. There is the flyer on the screen. Certainly, of course, make notes of it, and looking forward to seeing you next week. Meanwhile, I am so grateful to Chief Superintendent King, Superintendent Jennings, Thank you both for being here. The Hot Topics panel, Leslie Miller, Michael Turnquest, Howard Johnson, thank you as well, gentlemen. And a huge thank you to all of you for tuning in this evening. It's certainly been awesome having you here. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.
And could you please drive careful this time?
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited, Eyewitness News, and Beyond the Headlines.